Ooh, ooh, ooh. WDBFradio.com. WDBFradio.com.
I wonder, who wrote the book of love? Tell me, who wrote the book of love?
Welcome to Bucks on the Bookshelf with your host, Steve the Bookman Eisenstein. Steve the Bookman Eisenstein has been involved in buying, selling, and appraisals of rare books since 1968. This show has been designed with making money for the listeners in mind. More people know the value of coins, stamps, objects of art, and collectibles they do not own than the values of the books in their home library shelves. Now, here's Steve the Bookman Eisenstein.
Who wrote the book of love?
Welcome back, my fellow Rare Bookians. If you have questions, we have a phone number for you to call to ask them. 888-575-4394. That's 888-575-4394. Just to let you know, a little later in the program, about 11:30, a little 11:25, we're going to be joined by John Seda, a very well-known musician who literally just received a great award from the Latin Music Association. We're going to be talking with him about that. And just so you all know, music is in my heart. I don't really do much past doo-wop, but when it came to the hotel business, many a band I did book, many an act I did book, and it was just a lot of fun. And to tell you the truth, if I miss anything out of my past lives, there's one thing I miss more than anything. Being able to count down a ball on a stage on New Year's Eve. Oh, wow. Memories, I should say. I mean, yes, there were some memories after those memories on those New Year's Eves, but that's in those single days. Sorry, honey. I did have a life before marriage. Love you too. Hey, let me tell you something else for those of you who haven't or not aware of that. I have gone to garage sales. I have gone to auctions. The first auction I ever went to was somewhere around 1964, and it was a luggage auction at Penn Station. At the time, we didn't know we were going to be getting into it, but my mentor in the rare book business, Harvey Stanson. And if you are curious about who my mentor is, go to Stan Books on eBay. Harvey's been doing this longer than I have, and he's in New York, so his pickings, at least in my opinion, are better. But I lost my train of thought on that. Why was I mentioning all that? Yeah, okay. Edie took me to the punchline. So I've been to many types of sales and, all kinds of things like that. And people always ask me, what's the greatest thing you ever found? What's the weirdest, most expensive? But the greatest thing I ever found was my wife at a garage sale across the street. And as my mother said to her, as you sow, so you go. And here we are. Yeah, anyway. Speaking of that, I had another thought, but it kind of blew out the door. Um, you never know what you're going to find in an estate sale. You never know what you're going to find at a garage sale. Some people hate them. Some people love them. I will tell you that I am a lover of them. And something I obviously love more is probably this radio program, because I gave up garage sales for the radio program. The the thing that doesn't cut me out of the picture completely is I know the people that run the sales, and history is, said that this is a true statement. They like me and respect me enough that when there is a great set of books, we get in there. And we've done very well for them as well. I'm just thinking about the check I wrote. Boy, I'd love to write another check for $27,000 to somebody. Yeah, thank you for your help. So you never know what you're going to find. And I'll tell you something else about garage sales and estate sales. It's blood, sweat, and tears equity. It's getting up early in the morning and standing online at a freezing cold garage sale or an exceptionally hot one, or driving through mountains in New England or somewhere else till you find the library sale and all. But of all the places that you're going to go hunting for books, those are the places where, if you're lucky and if you're skillful, you will have your best buys. Why? Because at those sales, generally speaking, most of the books are $10 and under. Or at least when I was doing garage sales and estate sales with frequency, go back 10 years ago, that's when it stopped. There was still a couple of dollars a book, $3 a book, and most people didn't know what they had. So if you go to an estate sale and garage sale, it is worth getting up, being the first one in line. But where it sometimes becomes a twist of fate, you get up early in the morning, you're the first one in line to go to this garage sale, and the advertising for the sale was really enticing. Um, Hunting books, duck hunting decoys, other things like that. So normally you would think, okay, I'm going to the man cave. But it turns out the wife was the duck hunter and everything was in the bedroom. So whoever went to the man cave didn't get the good stuff in the bedroom. It's kind of the luck of the draw. Well, that was kind of an abstract analogy. Um, but you're not obligated to pay fair prices. If somebody calls me in on what we would call a private buy or a referral, somebody calls me up from the show, my ethics are on the table. I will pay you the fairest price I can afford to pay you for that book, and you generally will be happy. But at estate sales and garage sales, the gloves are off. I can think of hundreds and hundreds of books that we have bought for $1 that were worth thousands, and after all these years, that we bought for $1 that were worth $100 or more. And even so, if it was a $50 book for a buck or two, I'm spoiled like that. If somebody says to me, here's $100 book, I'll give it to you for $25. If I had a client for it, maybe, but, even in my more active buying days, I was a hunter. Are you a hunter or a buyer? Anybody with money can be a buyer. Anybody with money can go to an auction. And I'll tell you a funny story I've told a few times on this show, but we hope there's always new people in the audience. I had have two friends that are very well respected book dealers. And I'll tell you, I am not I'm not in the top echelon. I mean, I'll put my knowledge up against anyone, as my wife would say. But, am I $1 million a year bookseller? Not yet, anyway. Um, so I lost my train of thought again. Oh, shoot. What's happened? Say that again? Well, it wasn't the mentors. What I'm trying to bring out with it is I have the knowledge, but yeah, we're not on the top end of it. And you don't have to be on the top end of it, to be successful in that sense. I completely blew that train of thought. I apologize. Um, it's just that when you go to garage sales, you have that chance to find the ultimate sleeper. So are you a buyer? Was what it was. Are you a buyer or are you a hunter? I am a book hunter before I'm a buyer and the buyer. Okay. I have two friends for a very long time. They've been book dealers and they are in levels above mine, back on track. Okay. They had a discussion one day where both of them, for the last 7 or 8 years, tracked every book that they bought at an auction for a decent price. We're not talking about 20, 100, 20 and 50 and 100 and $200 books. These were, high end books. And they tracked what happened with those books. 90% of them did not sell. And then they looked at what it was that didn't sell. How do you come up with a why for that? Well, if you open your mind and jump out of the box, you can come up with some interesting ideas. Why? The main reason that was discussed as to why is this. Let's say this book that you bid $1,200 on at auction is a signed, specifically numbered, limited edition with an inscription to somebody that really stands out. Besides the fact that it's a signed, numbered, and easily identified limited edition that you paid $1,200 for. Who were you bidding against in that auction? Chances are, if you're a high-end dealer and you have high-end knowledgeable client collectors, you were bidding against your clients and collectors, which is what they found out to be the case. So when a client or a potential bidder buyer sees that you bought specific limited edition number whatever for $1,200 at the auction, and then 2 months later you list in your catalog for $3,600, you might have a few people that say, pack it up, buddy, find someone else. And that's what they found out. I mean, those kind of studies are interesting. It's kind of like the white glove thing. And there was another one, another oddball thing besides white glove. Oh, yeah, signatures. Yeah. That was the other. We were talking about that with Mike Redler last week on Autographs 101. When I first started in book collecting, selling, I was really, I'll say it again, I was never really a collector. I mean, I liked certain things, Did I collect A. Edward Newton until I had everything he did? Yeah. Did we eventually sell it? Yeah. Do we still have a few pieces that I'm finding in the warehouse today? Yeah. Yeah, I've never been collector is not me. Um, you know, I was always into the fun of the hunt and the buying and selling. But what I really loved about the book collecting, book selling market more than anything from day one, it's a challenge that cannot be met in a lifetime. I don't care what you know today, you still are never going to be a master of the wonderful world of rare books in one lifetime. You might be a great specialist, but the wonderful world of rare books is just nothing that can be mastered in a lifetime. You need more time than that. So, how do you become a master? Okay, we were talking about reference books, and I did really have a bad experience with them. They depreciated tremendously. But there are other types of reference books. So, what is it that you as a beginner might want as a reference book? The best reference book you can buy, if you're on a budget, is Patricia and Alan Ahern's Collecting Books for Fun and Profit. Forget about the prices that are in them, but all the information you need as a beginner can be found in that one book. And online, you could probably get a 1900, 2000, 1998, 2008, whatever copy of that book, in the $20 range, I would presume, if you don't care too much about condition. Other reference books, if you're not on a budget. One of the most important reference books, and I talk about this a lot, but I never really emphasize this, so I'm going to start with it. I think one of the most important reference books a person can own, if you're going to be a generalist, is what they call a dictionary of nom de plumes and pseudonyms. So when you pick up a book from the 1890s and it says by the author of, and they tell you the title of that book, this book will tell you who the author was, or if, the author's initials are only LM or HH, which is Doolittle. This is information that's not always easy to come by, but these particular type of reference books, Dictionary of Nom de Plumes and such, are phenomenal. Arco made a 6 or 7 volume set of them years ago, but they're obviously still quite relevant today. I have some titles that go back, I think, to the 1880s, if not 1858, on one of them that cover that subject matter, and it's really important. Another one, and this is also kind of a mandatory reference book, How to Tell Publishers First Editions. Up until 1929, publishers did not identify clearly their first editions, which creates nightmares and quagmires for us today. Like a light switch in 1929, they all did, and now you got to learn what each one of these publishers did to identify their own first editions. Unfortunately, they never met with Henry Ford, so they didn't all come up with a uniform code. We'll talk about some of those when we come back from break. Actually, no, we won't. Talk to you later. We'll be back. Ciao for now. We'll be back after these commercial words.
Here's Steve the Bookman Eisenstein.
Who wrote the Book of Love? Yeah, who did? The Monotones. Love it. I'm a golden oldie freak. What can I tell you? Welcome back, book and now music lovers. We are going to be talking with John Seda. John has been on the show before and is an award-winning, multi-talented musician who recently won an award from the Latin Music Association. John and Captain Hook have been working with an app called URH. No, go ahead.
No, it's you are you. You are
You are you.
Yes. Right.
You are you app, one word, .com.
Right.
John, welcome to the show again, and tell us about the app and give us some history. Everybody, I know a lot of people out in the book world that are frustrated musicians that want to get to where you guys are in the music industry. So tell us about the app, what got you started, and take it from there.
Well, Steve, thank you for having me on.
Pleasure.
It's part of what I do. You know, I live off of music. This is what I do, is my full-time thing. And in the last, I don't know, 20 years, let's say, it's going down and down and down. You hear a lot of stories about artists not getting paid their royalties. I don't want to point fingers at anybody, but it happens, you know. But the thing was, I used to be a distributor myself, and that didn't go well. But it actually encouraged me to do what I'm doing now. In other words, I had these partners that weren't cool, but I forgive them and I moved on, and I decided to do something positive for artists, because that was my goal when I became a distributor. Then I found out that nobody really wanted to help artists, and I was told that, right? So, and then it always amazes me, because I talked to Steve last night about this. I said, with all this power to be able to help artists, why can't they let them just get them paid? Like when you go to a job, you get paid for your job, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's always the endless recoupment. You hear the sad stories about artists that, end up with no money when they're older. And I don't think that's cool at all. So what I did was I developed an app that would be, let's say, I call it customer service free, which means I don't want to hear calls from artists, right? Because, you can't blame them when they call you complaining, where's my money, right? So what we did is we developed an app that no one had ever done, and we even proved this on GPT Chat. We did a thing with comparison with Spotify, and it actually, I was like almost in tears. It recommended my app over anything else that's out there, because what it is you upload the music to the app. It's free to go to uruuruapp.com. You can sign up. It doesn't charge you anything until you go over 2 songs, right? So you get one song for free. So it prints out a QR code. But what happens with this app that no one's ever done before, it teaches musicians to be businessmen. In other words, no, seriously.
No, I know. Oh,
I
I
know why
know.
you're laughing. I
I
know why
know.
you're laughing because that's like the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some musicians will say, I don't like business. I don't want to talk about it.
Most
But then they complain
artists.
when them. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But let me just finish one thing so I get this out. So what we did was I made a deal with Stripe, and this took a long time because they had to develop. They actually helped us in a major way. So when you sign up, you have to sign up to Stripe
You
to
have to
get an
link your
Express
bank
account.
accounts. Yes.
Right.
So you get
Exactly.
paid. So you can get paid. I mean, how else
Right.
would you get paid?
The money doesn't go to us.
Right.
So
Money
all we
goes
make money
directly
is
to you.
off the subscription. So what basically it's a tool for artists to make money. But at the same time, what it does is as soon as you sign up, you become an entrepreneur. You become a businessman.
So I was laughing because I've been backstage. Okay,
Oh, trust me,
you know
I
what
know
I'm
why.
saying?
Yeah.
Artists, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So if I'm hearing this correctly, let's say somebody comes up with a song that is just incredibly well liked and takes off like a freaking rocket, a hundred
Right.
thousand listens.
Right.
Okay. The next day, like I think they did that every once in a while. They do something on America's Got Talent. The next day, that
Right.
song's number one.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
So we know who's making money on that. What you're
Hmm.
saying is if all of a sudden artist A who listed with you
Hmm.
gets their song and it gets a hundred
Hmm.
thousand hits and they're all paid hits, the money goes to them.
Right. But you have to understand this app was designed primarily for live shows. But you can share the link on Facebook on your website. It's a QR code,
Okay.
right? And a link, right? So as soon as you click on that QR code or the link, it takes you to a payment system. The customer puts in the credit card, right?
Hmm.
And then the music is emailed to them. So there's no excuses. There's no nothing. It's very seamless, very simple. When you upload it, you can upload it with any art that you want because there's no rules to this or anything like that. Of course, I would
Yeah.
recommend
In
that it's
fact,
nice.
in
You
fact,
know,
it asks you for album art on there. It's part of the upload.
right?
So it makes it real simple.
Yeah, it's super simple. So in other words, I took all the doubt and the mystery about how to make money with music. I mean, and this is what I wanted to talk about on the show today is that, and to all my beloved musicians, because I love musicians, because I'm one myself, and I care about them, because they give me life, right? They record at my studio, and I'm trying to give them life back. I mean, right? And they make me happy with their music, all that stuff. But one thing I want to say is now there's no way you can come up with an excuse. I didn't do this because I didn't,
Yeah.
I want to get a record deal, and I want to say something. And it's a very fortunate thing, and I don't know why this is like this. And people have said, "Well, John, there's a thing called power. They want power over you, right?" Well, that doesn't help to make great music. To have power over somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When
And
you
back
have to
back in the
produce. Right.
yeah, so there's
Well, they were
no
more controllable personalities then, and all that. They got well. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
Not
ahead.
much has
no,
changed.
no,
Let me tell you.
no. But it's we're not going to change the ego thing or nothing like that because you have to have an ego to be an artist. You have
Oh
to have
yeah.
something. You know what I mean? You have to believe in yourself, right? But this way, you can't complain that like because what happens is, and this is why I developed this. I would go to shows to watch my friends, right? Or sometimes I'm playing. And it happened just recently, about a year ago in Fort Lauderdale. I wanted to play with Raul Hernandez, who had recorded with me several times, and he got me a gig. And I just wanted to get out, out of the studio, and it was fun. And I told Elena was going to come and sing. She sang a couple songs. I told her print out some CDs. Well, she didn't do it, right? And then guess what? Hey, I want to buy your music. And I looked at her. I go, "Yeah, hey, right?" So now there's no excuse. You just come with a QR code. It could be on your phone. It could be printed. It could be any, you know what I mean? Because it's all they got to do is scan it. So if the person would have asked right there and said, hey, I want to buy your music. All she had to do was pick up her phone, show the QR code, they scan it, buy it, and it's done. Sent to the email.
Right.
So what
I'm in a,
happens is, mhm.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
Well,
and what happens is artist. Okay, go ahead.
let me just explain how the system used to work, okay? When you had a gig back in the days, like half of my life ago, okay? When you go up and you had a gig and stuff, everybody would want your music. Do you guys got an album out? So we go to the studio, you make an album. Then this was back in the day when I was playing, this was CDs were just come out. We were making cassettes and selling them at the gig. Well,
Right.
the overhead for making back then, overhead for making a CD to start was $4,000 up front just to get the CDs. You know, then you have to go studio time and all that stuff. Nowadays, I bet minimum $10,000 before you can even make a CD. You know, that sort of stuff. So this eliminates all that front end cost that artists have to do before they even get to the gig.
Let
Eliminates
me
all that.
let me ask a hypothetical set of questions as if I was a musician.
Right.
Okay. Eddie Nicks, you've heard me mention him on the show before. This guy does music venues with his I mean, he has a tobacco factory for one store that we used to be in, another one just as big, and in the middle is venues. They do music venues all summer long up there. So let's say, for argument's sake, Eddie signs up for your app. I understand what you're saying. It's more for live performances. I got that. So they got a live performance. And that live performance was just like if they were on America. I hate to use that as an example, but they would have won the talent contest. It was that hot. Everybody loves it. And now they send it to you, the, recording, and all of a sudden thousands and thousands of copies are purchased by the listening audience. How much money do they make? What do you guys get?
They get 100%.
And what would that 100, like, let's say, use a number. Let's say there were 10,000 people that downloaded their music.
Well, it's per song. So each
Okay.
song you buy the song. So
And what does it
Or the
cost to buy?
album.
I've never
Or
done
an
this.
album.
I've never
Right.
bought music online. What does
Okay.
it cost?
it's generally in the old days it was $1 a song, or now it's $1.69, $2 a song, basically.
Right.
Basically, and but you don't get that. You'll be lucky if you get half of that.
Well, if it's getting directly, no, that's
Now
what I'm
to
saying.
us, now if you operate through
Through you. Yeah, I'm talking about through you.
100% of the thing. We make our
Well,
money
On the other end, when you sign up after the second
Right.
song. I got that.
Right.
How much is it after the second song per song? Or you don't
No,
have it?
it-
You mean the upload?
Yeah, I know. I'm the
I assume-
musician. I got my one for free.
John, explain the tiers, the next tier up.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what we're talking about, the tiers.
The tiers is 12 songs, right, for $39.99. It's 24 songs for $59.99, and then it's unlimited, as many songs. This is for people that write songs every day, which I know a lot of them.
Or have a
It's
lot in the back.
$99 a year, and they can put up 10 albums if they want to. Now, now let me explain to you how they get paid. A person comes at the show and they see a sign. You should put a poster. We're performing here tonight. It's got a QR code on it, and man, I really like this band. They don't even have to speak to you. They go, what? They scan it. They paid for it. The music goes to their email. And here's the beautiful part. When does the artist get the money? In about 5 days, because the credit card has to clear like any normal purchase that you do, right? But you get the product, but that's
How do they get the poster with the QR code to be at the event?
Well, the artist has to prepare that. They
That's
have
what
to
I mean.
bring it in.
Yeah, okay.
Within our
But-
app, you can take the QR code that is assigned to your song and
Or
print it out, or you can get the link and put it on your website. One of the two.
or you could have the QR code on an iPad. Like let's say you have a merch table selling T-shirts, right?
Yeah.
You could have an iPad with the QR code. It's right there. All I gotta do, boom, scan it, done. But the
Yep.
beautiful part is when they make the sale, right? In 5 days, it's in their bank account. They don't
It's
have to like
done.
go.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah,
We don't.
yeah.
They don't have. They don't have to go up and how do you say? They don't have to download it. Like, oh, you let me withdraw it. Like all the other companies
Right.
that they hold on to your money for 90 days.
Right.
90
Yeah, yeah.
days.
Yeah, I
And
know.
then
I know.
they give you like a little tiny piece, like they're dangling the, like here's a little piece
You,
of meat. You know what I mean?
the
And they're like,
pot.
they're like all like this, like puppies.
We gotta
It's
hit a break. We gotta hit a break, but I gotta tell you, when we come back, I gotta tell you, I see potential in this. Like, wow.
And then
We'll be,
we'll
yeah, we'll be
explain
back
how.
after these
Okay.
commercial words.
All right. Stand by.
The Bookman Eisenstein.
Welcome back, book and music lovers. Boy, what you guys have created is amazing. And if there's anybody out there with music in their heart and you've been on a stage and you know some of the business of the music business, this is amazing, you guys. You have come up with something totally amazing. The publicity potential for you once it gets rolling is infinite. What would be ideal in that area? A new group makes an overnight hit that pays them 100K in the next 5 days. Can you track what they make? Not that you get a piece of it, but just for that publicity's
oh
sake.
Yes.
yeah, we have the data. We have a
That
back end. So every time they sign in, we have their email. We know what song they sold.
and
So
how
we have all
many?
the yeah. But that's for you have to have that information for marketing and all that stuff. But
That's
but but we don't get any money from that. You know
no,
what I
no,
mean?
no. I understand that
But
totally, but the
it's nice to watch it just from our standpoint. But the nice thing about it is it's growing. Like the first month we had a certain amount, second month it doubled and it doubled
it
again.
should,
So,
it should, it should
yeah,
even go further than that. It should be
it's
exponential.
gonna, and I'm gonna mention right now because I just happened to look, half of our audience today is in Germany. So for all you German listeners over there, God bless you, and thanks for listening. But
Sprechen Deutsch.
this is where the Euro to Euro app
Mein
could come in.
Kinder.
In Europe, this could be big. This could be really big
Well,
because
Germany
a lot more
Germany's
venues
a
over there.
Germany's a big leader in protecting music.
Yep.
Okay.
They don't allow
Also,
all their artists get paid.
Yeah.
Club
You know.
30, go to when you get your first Facebook promo up, go to Club 30 International on
Okay.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Eric Enrico Novelli, he's been on the show. You've heard me mention him many times.
hmm
I think you guys will be in perfect harmony, and he's got all kinds of stuff going on in the music industry here. He started this group several years ago, and I wasn't sure where it was going to go, but I like the idea of it. And he has gone. It's amazing, and it's a perfect blend. But I know you know this, but it's like to me, if somebody had made $100,000 in 5 days because they came out with some kind of, everybody's listening to it kind of hit. That's the kind of publicity you guys could really play up. You're not
Well,
making money on it, but you're getting phenomenal. Hey, this guy made this much money on this app, so can you
Well,
if
our,
you
our
got.
goal is to protect the musicians because
No, I know.
we've been doing this for a long time and seen the whole horror show of how the music record companies treat their musicians, and
right.
that's it.
Oh, I agree. I
One
totally
more thing
get that.
I want to mention about this app is if you're out playing and you're selling your music, because you have a steady gig. I have a buddy of mine. He has one gig every Monday night. He's out there and doing his thing. They'll set up the QR code for the song. He has one song, and he puts it up, and there you go. And but the nice thing about this app is it has a tip jar. in it. So if you're out playing out, you can set up another QR code,
Oh,
and you
wow.
can just go over and scan that and give the guy $2, $5.
Whose idea
whatever.
was that?
That's John.
John, you're amazing, man. You are amazing.
But I love the tip jar more than I do the
I-
other thing, to be honest with you. But
Well,
it's great.
it's easy, because
it's easy.
all you do is you print it out, or you see, the thing is, you could put these QR codes on your website. So
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be always live, like if somebody really loves you, or every time you do a video, you could put the QR code at the end or the beginning of the video. So if they scan it, they can, they can buy it right there. So it's always available to sell. It's your, how do you call it? Your online store. That's the best way to, say it.
That's right. It's a built-in online store that you can have on your own website with no trouble at all. All you have to do is embed
But I want to,
QR code.
I want to say one thing,
Go for
because I'm going to forget. The beautiful thing about this is, and this is to all the people out there that talk about this stuff every day, this app is job creation. It's giving jobs to musicians. Musicians are making money, and it's creating a musical economy that goes back into the system. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's totally positive.
That's right.
And
Let me know when the IPO comes out.
This app.
No, I got a feeling
This
about
app
this,
will
John.
actually work for street musicians also.
Could work for
Right.
anybody. So here's
Anybody.
wait. Let me interject a question. It's music only,
oh, well, there's something.
or could it grow into other things?
Well,
No, it will.
Right
It
now
will.
I have an hour show. We can put your shows, split them in an hour, and you can
Right.
put your shows up, and you could charge for them, and we won't run replays anymore.
Like,
That
I want to say something.
I just
about-
want callers. I want callers.
Don't beg
Yeah.
the callers.
Yeah,
Careful what you look
check
like.
this out. Think about this. You could. He's right. You could sell. Comedians can use this too.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Right. So because it's not just. Of course, we're focusing on music right now because of what's going on, and it's a good way to promote it. But I've had somebody ask me, "Can I put my friend as a comedian? Can he? Can he do
Absolutely.
it?" I say, "Of course, he can do it." Now, here's another thing that check this out. And remember, when people buy music at shows, I had to explain this to musicians before. They buy it. It's like a tip. It's like they're, how do you say, they're being your sponsor, or whatever you want to call it, right?
Right.
They're buying it for the music, but because I've seen situations where we were selling a CD on stage for $10 and they were giving us 20.
Yeah.
And then the guys were like, why are they doing that? I said, because they're not musicians, they're fans. You have to divide-
Exactly
There's a
right.
big difference. There's a
Tips
big
ensure
difference.
better health for the performer.
I could buy a hamburger.
So I got another question, down the road type question. Will you be able to screen everything? And is there anything like, because of you own it, so you establish the rules, but like on Facebook, we're not allowed to advertise in any group Mein Kampf. I mean, it could be a $5,000 rare first edition, but
the
it's
answer
a
to your
no-no.
question is we don't control the content. If
Do you
copyright and all
want
that-
to ever control the content in case it becomes, a problem?
No, we're just.
Well, Steve, because you brought this up. Steve told me, why don't
Which
we
one?
set up
Hook or me?
Captain Hook.
that guy, the other Steve. But anyway, he said to me, John, why don't we set this up where we can stream the music? And I said, bro, you do not want to go down that rabbit hole, because there's all these legalities with copyrights, and look what's happening to the guy from Spotify. He's in
Totally.
super trouble, and he deserves it because he's been ripping. I mean, come on now. If a person get 1,000 listens and you get 0.008 of a penny, I mean, come on,
No, I hear you. I hear you on
and
that.
I think he's like $3 billion, and that's what he's worth right now. And I'm like, golly, Anyway, so musicians are on the the welfare line. That's kind of how it looks, right?
The potential is, the more I think about this,
Yeah.
the potential is amazing. I mean, it fits in something I've said before with this. Right now in the United States, tonight, Saturday night, 50,000 bands minimum are going to be playing all around the country. And
Right. That's
somewhere
correct.
there's somebody that's 10 times better than whoever's on the top 10, but they haven't been seen or heard by the right
They're
eyes and
everywhere.
ears
They're
yet.
everywhere.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
everywhere.
Well, this
And
is
think of
something to improve the
and
chances
well, improve the chances and improve your
without
health.
investment. Yeah.
But it also improves your health. Think about it.
Yep.
If you go to a gig and you sell 20 songs, you got money in your pocket, you got less stress, right? You know,
Oh, yeah.
you can sustain yourself. You're not living on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches like people talked about in the record company days because they wouldn't give them any money. You know, so
Coconut
they
and
would have to-
toast.
Yeah, exactly.
Down here, yeah.
All right, we're starting to run out of time here.
Well, we got 4 minutes.
There
Got
was
4 minutes.
There's a couple.
I want to do a quick mention. Go ahead.
You
Is that
got
cool?
a quick yeah, real quick. If you want me to.
All right. I want to thank my team. Okay, Dr. Donna Ataya, Sharon Laurent, Ron Ben, Loretta Riquetti, Maya Riquetti, Brian Williamson, Stephen Kimberlin, because he's our team. Shout out to Mike McDevitt, Raul Hernandez, and Desmond Davidson, Danny Santiago in Puerto Rico. And I'm using the Phoenix Pro PTM 10, testing it today. My in-ear monitors.
Your
Thank you,
wireless
everybody.
in-ear monitor.
Yeah, stereo.
Man, I want two.
And guess what?
I need
it's
two.
like two.
You have quite a crew. I mean, that's a
Well-
lot of people involved in this. You're
Well,
going to
but
need
all-
all of them.
Most of these
but-
people are musicians that have been.
Oh, they're
supportive of us.
amazing artists. Like,
Amazing
and the
artists.
reason
A
why,
couple of them very young too.
oh yeah, one is 17.
Well, are we going to play some music? We have less than 3 minutes.
Yep. John did a song it's a very patriotic tune. It's going to be, we could try to use it for the Olympics coming up, or you could use it for anything, anything.
Yeah.
It's in the USA. Let me play a piece of it. I'm not going to play the whole thing. We'll play a little bit of it.
Yeah, we won't be able to. But
Time to come back, and then I'm going to end it on John Blackwell's song.
all right.
We got 2 minutes exactly.
We're good.
Thanks to Luis Freire. Luis, he helped. We co-wrote it together with Maya and Brian Williamson.
Here we
On
go.
a napkin or on paper?
Quiet, guys.
Both.
All right, man, that's a killer tune.
Nice
And
beat.
I'm just giving you a little taste of it because you're gonna hear more of this coming up soon.
Yeah, and going back to what the team is about, when I designed this thing, I wanted to, I had some people that, helped out. And in return, because they're such great artists, they would never stand the chance, trying to get a record deal. And because even if they did, I would pray for them because I would fear that some of them would run into some trouble, right? But I want to prove to the world, that these artists that are with me, we're going to help them to sell music, and
John.
One day, hopefully,
Yep.
You've taken the ruthless
John,
out of the
real
business.
quick, mention John
Right.
Blackwell because we're going to go out and listen to
Oh.
his song.
You got
I was
You got a
showing
minute to
15
talk about it.
seconds.
No,
15.
No, I got to.
John
Okay, you
Blackwell
got
was a
it?
good
Okay,
friend.
okay.
John Blackwell was a good friend of mine. He passed away in 2017. That was very sad. He was a drummer for Prince, Cameo, and what's her name? Oh, forget it. I'll just keep going. Prince. But anyway, he played with a ton of people, and we recorded this song when he was 21 years old. He was an amazing guy, and unfortunately, he had like a stroke in Japan. He was playing on stage, and he passed out, and then he passed away. But he was a dear friend, and I just kind of want to mention it. Guys like him who helped me, inspired me, are part of my inspiration about doing this app.
All right, buddy. Thanks for joining us today. Go buy the Euro app. This is John Blackwell. We'll see you all next week.
Happy book sales and buys to you till we meet again. Air guitar.
I'm playing keyboards and guitar.